Good evening, everyone. I can't believe it's Friday again. It's that time of the week. It can only be 8:30, and it's time for another edition of the LA Cinema Film Quiz. We're rolling camera, we're action, rolling sound. Hello and good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're all keeping well, considering the circumstances at the moment. We're returning for the 8th week, the 8th edition of the LA Cinema Film Quiz, but the first during the second UK government lockdown. If you're joining us this evening, you've subscribed to the channel, you're tuning in. Thanks for doing so. Thanks for your support as always. We've got the live chat window, so please introduce yourselves. Let me know if you've taken part in the quiz before. We've ran for so many months now during the lockdown. We've had our regulars. If you're new to the quiz, also introduce yourselves and let me know where you are this evening. Are you based in the UK? Are you based outside of the UK? I'm James, by the way, your host for this evening's quiz, based in Bristol, in the village of Long Ashton, which is where we're based with the LA Cinema. As I've explained before, we're a community cinema that used to run screenings every third Saturday of the month. We've not been able to do that for some months now, nearly the best part of a year. So we've been doing the weekly quizzes to try and keep you entertained and keep you up to tracks with your cinema knowledge. So we've got a few people this evening. We were a little bit low on numbers for the first one last week of 2021, but Happy New Year to you all. Shirley Cormish is back. Thank you kindly. And Andy Rowles introducing the Rowles family back. I'll tell you in a minute the usual format for this evening. Nothing changed, nothing particular of any particular difference, but a few tweaks here and there. But yeah, introduce yourselves on the chat window and I'll tell you the topics, the subjects for this evening. Total of 50 questions altogether, 10 questions per round. If you need any questions repeating after the rounds, just let me know. We'll tally the scores up at the end. I'll also reveal the answers and we'll see how you fared with the second lockdown national quiz. And we'll see if you're top of the class, you know your cinema stuff, or we'll see if you're bottom of the class for this evening's quiz. Are you all ready for tonight's topics? Introduction there from Suzanne. I hope you're well, Suzanne Chilcott. So here are tonight's subjects to test your film knowledge. Round number one, we're going to go with martial arts films. That's our first round this evening, consisting, as I said, of 10 questions. Round number two, a little bit different, not necessarily cinema related, but we're going to look at media and culture from a particular decade. The decade will be the 1990s. 1990s culture for round number two. Round three, film weapons. You'll find out a little bit more later. Round number four was a recommendation from a regular player called Bikey Chick. She wanted the director Richard Donner movies. Round number four. And the final penultimate round, questions 40 to 50. I want you to name the actor or actress from 3 characters they played. The same actor or actress. You just need to tell me who they are. Some tricky rounds this evening. I hope you all get on well with those rounds and we'll see what your scores are like at the end of tonight's quiz. Okay, I always start off with film purchases that I've made throughout the week. These are normally DVDs or Blu-rays that I buy from places like your Amazons or your eBays in most cases. So here are a couple I picked up this week just to kind of give you a little idea and just find out if you've seen them or maybe you've not even heard of them. So I'm always banging on about a label called Criterion, and they always bring out some great ranges of independent, some great world cinema releases. This is one from Akira Kurosawa, the great Japanese filmmaker. Never seen this one. One of his later films, a series of short films, or vignettes as they call them, from 1990. A 2-hour film called Dreams. That's my first purchase. That was an eBay one this week. So Dreams by Akira Kurosawa. My second purchase, another film I've never seen. I've heard good things about it. It's kind of a Jim Carrey film that doesn't get a lot of recognition. It came out in the early 2000s and it's called The Majestic. It's a serious role from Carrey and it's set during the 1950s about an ambitious Hollywood screenwriter who basically gets involved and is accused of communist sympathies during the McCarthy era. So purchase number 2 from 2001, Jim Carrey in the serious film, The Majestic. And the third one, I think you all love this. I bought this one for my kids, seriously for my kids. Fraggle Rock, Jim Henson, the complete series box set. Bit of nostalgia. I haven't seen this one probably for 20, 30 years. So I look forward to having a look, see how it stood the test of time 30 years on. Okay, so normally I do some film recommendations for the week. With things changing this week, with home education, the schools closed, I'm afraid to say I haven't watched any films at all this week. I've just not had the chance, but next week I'll come up with a few film recommendations. But later on, I've got a couple of little topics of conversation for you all, which I'll mention as we go through the round. So everyone ready for tonight? I see Lucy's tuned in, Lucy Hawkins. Good evening. So you ready for tonight's quiz? Here we go. We're going to start off with round number 1. What was round number 1? Martial arts films. So the only thing I'll ask is we've got the chat window. Don't you write your answers in the window because everyone will see them and the answers will be revealed at the end. So good luck, everyone. Hope you enjoyed tonight. That's the most important thing. And here we go. Round number 1. Question 1. Okay, so for this one, I want you to name the famous Bruce Lee martial arts film released in 1973 about a secret agent who comes to a Lord's Island fortress with other fighters for a martial arts tournament. So that's question number 1. I'll repeat that. Round 1, number 1. Name the famous Bruce Lee martial arts film released in 1973 about a secret agent who comes to a Lord's Island fortress with other fighters for a martial arts tournament. That is number 1. Number 2, there's 2 points on offer for this one. So I'm looking for 2 answers. And again, Bruce Lee related. Here we go. Name the title of the biopic released in 1993, which is a fictionalized account of the life and career of Bruce Lee. But for the extra point, name the actor who plays Bruce Lee in that film. It's number 2. So martial arts films. Are you up on your martial arts? Karate, judo, you name it. Taekwondo. Number 2 again. Name the title of the biopic released in 1993. It's a fictionalized account of the life and career of Bruce Lee. And for that extra bonus point, name the actor who plays Bruce Lee in that film. 1 point for each. As we move on to number 3, we head into the 80s and a little bit of the 90s with this name. Here we go. Name the martial arts action star who was born in 1940 and is familiar to fans worldwide for his roles in the Delta Force, Delta Force 2, Missing in Action, and the television series Walker, Texas Ranger. I wanted to do that in an American accent there. Walker, Texas Ranger. That's pretty bad. So number 3 again, name the martial arts action star who was born in 1940 and is familiar to fans worldwide for his roles in the Delta Force, Delta Force 2, Missing in Action, and the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. Still alive and kicking? I think he was once pronounced dead by mistake. Good evening, Rob. Thanks for joining us. We're round 1. We move on to question number 4. I want you to complete this title of a Chinese martial arts film released in 2004. The title, House of. So I just need you to fill in the blanks. So for number 4, fill in the blanks. I've got a title that's incomplete. What are the missing words to complete the title of a 2004 film, Chinese martial arts film, House of something, something. What could it be? Number 5 now, still on round number 1. Name the Hong Kong martial arts action star who plays the character Chang Kaiku in 1985's Police Story. Don't know if I pronounced that correctly. A 1985 classic martial arts film, always rated in polls as one of the top ones. Here's the question. Name the Hong Kong martial arts action star who plays the character Chang Kaiku in 1985's Police Story. 4 more left for this round. Number 6 now. Going on to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So the acclaimed martial arts film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is released in 2000 and is directed by which Oscar-winning director? So number 6 again. The acclaimed martial arts film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was released in 2000 and is directed by which Oscar-winning director? So I'm looking for an acclaimed filmmaker who's won the Academy Award, much critical acclaim. Who is he? Number 7 now. I want you to name the UK and US title of a 1991 Jet Li film set in the late 1800s and about a man who trains men in martial arts to help defend against foreign powers. So we go to the early part of the 1990s decade, 1991 in fact. But here's the question, number 7. Name the UK-US title of a 1991 Jet Li film set in the late 1800s and about a man who trains men in martial arts to help defend against foreign powers. I need the name of that film. Jet Li, 1991. Couple more left, 3 to go. Number 8 we move on to. Here we go. Name the American actor who plays the role of Daniel Larusso in the Karate Kid films and the new television series Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, a popular television series. I think they're on to, I may be wrong, series 3 now. Seems to be very popular. I think it's streaming on Netflix. I think it was originally on YouTube. But number 8, name the American actor who plays the role of Daniel Larusso in the Karate Kid franchise of films and the television series Cobra Kai. Also appeared in a film in the 80s about the blues called Crossroads. I don't know if you can remember that one. With Ry Cooder on the soundtrack. Here we go, number 9 now. Name the 2011 Indonesian action thriller directed by Welsh filmmaker Gareth Evans. It's about a SWAT team who become trapped in a tenement ran by ruthless mobsters and his army of killers. But I just need the title of a 2011 film for number 9. If you can hear a bit of background noise, That's my wife getting the shopping delivery in. Feeling so professional this evening. You can probably hear some talking in the background. Number 9 again. Name the 2011 Indonesian action thriller directed by Welsh filmmaker Gareth Evans. It's about a SWAT team who become trapped in a tenement ran by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers. But I'm looking for the title of the film, please. One more left in the round number 1, question number 10. And here it is. Martial arts films. Japanese film now. Yojimbo, a classic 1961 film about a Ronin who decides to play off 2 criminal gangs. But name its Japanese director. You've already had a clue for this one. If you tuned in at the beginning, I mentioned a film that I purchased this week. It's the same director, but here you go. Number 10. Yojimbo is a classic 1961 film about a Ronin who decides to play off 2 criminal gangs. Name its Japanese director, please. Okay, so a couple of questions you want repeated. I got Mr. Bikey Chick, or shall I say Mr. Biker Boy, John Ross. Could I repeat 2 and 3 again? Yeah, of course I can, no problem. So we'll go with number 2 first. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Okay, so number 2, I was looking for 2 answers for this one. So we got 2 points on offer. It's Bruce Lee related. Here we go. Name the title of the biopic released in 1993, which is a fictionalized account of the life and career of Bruce Lee. But for an extra bonus point, name the actor who plays Bruce Lee in the film. And number 3 for round 1, I'll repeat that one as well, not a problem. Name the martial arts action star. He was born in 1940 and is familiar to fans worldwide for his roles in the Delta Force, Delta Force 2, Missing in Action, and the television series Walker, Texas Ranger. That's number 3. Somebody saying number 4, Suzanne. Here we go, Suzanne. Number 4. Okay, so I've got an incomplete title of a Chinese martial arts film from 2004. Can you complete the title? The title is House of something something. So complete this title of the Chinese martial arts film from 2004. House of something something. Okay, does anyone else need any repeating? If so, just shout out the number, not a problem at all. And how did you fare for this round? We've not done martial arts themed films before. First time we've done it for the LA Film Quiz. How did you fare with this one? Are you confident? What are your predicted scores for round number 1 for tonight's quiz? How did you get on? Do you think you're going to be A students? Or do you think you're struggling with this one? You're not so keen on your Bruce Lee, Jet Li films? How did you fare? Tricky ones there. I probably wouldn't know a lot of these myself. I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur of martial arts action themed films. So a little bit different, that one. We'll move on in just a minute to round number 2, which I believe is 1990s decade, 90s culture, I think, for round 2. Yeah, 90s culture. Lucy's saying a lot of guesswork for this one. Yeah, some tricky questions in there. A couple of easier ones, but it's always easier when you know the answers and you've written the questions. Okay, we'll move on to 2 in just a minute. Round number 2, again, it'll be consisting of 10 questions. So these aren't specifically film questions. Every week we have 5 rounds of cinema questions. I thought I'd mix this up with a bit more media theme questions, trying to test your knowledge with nostalgia on the 90s. So here we go. 10 questions. 90s culture. Here we go. Number 1. Name the American actor who plays the character Dr. Ross Gellar in the hit sitcom Friends. So I think they're doing some sort of reunion, or it's been proposed. I don't know when it'd be broadcast, but such a popular TV series, Friends, the hit US sitcom. But question 1, can you name the American actor who plays Dr. Ross Gellar in the hit sitcom Friends? That's number 1. Shirley wasn't so keen on round 1 for this evening. Yeah, it did say a tricky round. Question number 2 for round number 2 on the 90s. We're doing console games now, or arcade games, gaming. Number 2. Name the popular fighting game which was developed by Midway Games in 1992 and made into a 1995 movie starring Christopher Lambert. So the French actor Christopher Lambert was in the Highlander films, of course. A popular fighting game. It was developed by Midway Games in 1992 and made into a 1995 movie starring Christopher Lambert. But tell me the name of this popular game released in the 90s. Move on to number 3 now. Question 3, round 2. Okay, 2 answers to this question. So 2 points on offer. I was woken up just after midnight, New Year's Eve, with this one playing. But here's the question. Which UK group had a number 1 hit with the songs Things Can Only Get Better, which was used by New Labour during their successful 1997 election campaign? But for the bonus point, second point on offer, name the live band's keyboard player who is now a professor of physics and a TV presenter. That's number 3. Got the song in my head at the moment. But yeah, number 3, which UK group had a number 1 hit with the songs Things Can Only Get Better, which was used by New Labour during their successful 1997 election? And for the bonus point, name the live band's keyboard player, who is now a professor of physics and a television broadcaster. What's everyone drinking this evening? Friday drink for the end of the week. I'm just drinking water this evening. I'm trying to be a good boy. Move on to number 4. Name the Scottish television presenter and model who famously posed nude for FHM, which was projected onto the Houses of Parliament. So a figure was projected onto the Houses of Parliament. So question 4, name the Scottish television presenter and model who famously posed nude for FHM and was projected onto the Houses of Parliament. Lucy's on the blackcurrant gin. I do like a drop of gin, I got to be honest. Never used to drink it until the lockdown. Number 5, we're halfway through the round. 90s culture. Number 5, television now. Name the US actress who plays Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the hit television series of the same name. Popular television series, a kind of spin-off from a film in the early 90s. But name the US actress who plays Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the hit TV series of the same name for question number 5. So we move from television to sport now. See how you get on with this one. Are you into your tennis? Name the 14 Grand Slam singles tennis ace who won 6 Wimbledon grass titles in the 1990s. He won 7 altogether, 1 outside of the 90s, prolific on grass. But name the 14 Grand Slam singles tennis ace who won 6 Wimbledon grass titles in the 1990s. Federer very much dominated in the 2000s. A certain man dominated in the 90s, but who was he? Number 7, we're doing sport again, but we move from tennis to soccer or football. 7, which country hosted the 1990 FIFA World Cup? West Germany were eventual winners, the hosts in 3rd place, and England 4th. But who were the hosts? Which country? So number 7 again, just going to have a swig of my water. Number 7, which country hosted the 1990 FIFA World Cup? West Germany were the eventual winners. The hosts were in 3rd place and England 4th. But which country hosted the 1990 FIFA World Cup? Number 8, we're back to TV again. I can remember the FIFA World Cup, the 1990 first one I saw as a young lad. That prolific semi-final game, we all remember it, the penalty shootout. But for number 8, which popular television game show first aired in 1992 with presenters Eureka Johnson and John Fashanu and featured Wolf, Jet, Lightning and Panther? God, that brings back some memories. Saturday nights, ITV, I think it was 6 o'clock. I got a feeling Jeremy Guscott was a presenter as well. Number 8, which popular television game show first aired in 1992 with presenters Ulrika Johnson, John Fashanu, and featured Wolf, Jet, Lightning, and Panther? 2 more left for this round as we finish 90s culture, not film related at all, but I thought I'd stick in around a little bit different. Here we go with number 9. Which 90s magazine show with smutty sexual humour started broadcasting from 1993 with presenter Antoine Decaune? I don't know if I pronounced that correct. So a 90s magazine show with smutty sexual humour started broadcasting in 1993 with presenter Antoine Decaune. What was the show? And 10, we go back to sport again. We move to cricket now. Number 10, which West Indies batsman broke Gary Sober's test record by scoring 375 against England in 1994? That's the last one. So cricket, an iconic West Indian batsman. He broke Gary Sober's record at the time, scoring 375 against England in 1994. But who was he? His record was eventually broken by the Australian Matthew Hayden, and then he won it back. He scored 400 not out against England. Had to be England again, same batsman, but originally scored 375. So there's your 10 questions for round number 2. How did everyone get on with this round? A little bit different. How did you get on? And do you need me to repeat any of the questions from that round at all? A little bit different. I thought we'd throw in a round, not specifically cinema, but testing your knowledge on things that went on in the 90s, on the entertainment scene with culture, media. Bikey Chick saying 9 and 10. Yeah, no problem. Number 9 then. First one. Okay, so I'm looking for a 90s magazine show with smutty sexual humour that started broadcasting from 1993 with presenter Anton Decaune. I think I pronounced his surname totally wrong. Excuse my French, but a 90s magazine show, 1993. Channel 4. And number 10 was a cricket question. Which West Indian batsman broke Gary Sober's test record at the time by scoring 375 against England in 1994. That's number 10. Shirley's liking this round, much more to her liking than round number 1, which was on martial arts films. We'll move on to round 3 in just a minute. But if you've got any questions you want repeating for number 2, let me know. Not a problem. How did you all think you fared with this one? Any predicted scores? Anyone quietly confident? As we're on 90s culture, I was going to show you a couple of things before we move on to round number 3. I was back at my mum's house the other day, putting away some Christmas decorations, and I came across a box full of old toys, very nostalgic to the 80s and 90s. And I hear that these are very valuable today. I've just sold some this afternoon for, I couldn't believe the price they went for. But these are some old figures. You might have collected these. You might have watched it on the television. Anyone remember these wrestlers from the 80s and 90s, specifically the 90s? This is Doink the Clown. They're Hasbro figures. Crush, Skinner, and one of my favorites with his bone necklace, Papa Shango. These were WWF wrestlers, kind of very collectible now. I thought I'd just dig them out and just show you, as we were on 90s culture. They were on Sky TV. It was like a soap opera. Was anyone into the old wrestling in the day, or still are? It's obviously the WWE, known as now. Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, WrestleMania, Vince McMahon. Brings back some memories. Okay, we'll move on to round number 3. 10 questions again. This is a little bit different. Film weapons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a description of a prop, a weapon that was used in a film. I'm going to give you some clues and hints. And I just need you to tell me the name of the film or the franchise, the film franchise, or I may ask the character that used this particular weapon. Hope it all makes sense. As I said, 10 questions. Round number 3 on film weapons. Here we go. Number 1, I'm looking for a chainsaw handmade by Ash Williams for a horror trilogy and used as a zombie killer machine. But I need you to tell me the name of the horror franchise. Kind of a popular cult film franchise. So we're doing film weapons, and this is number 1. It's a chainsaw handmade by the character Ash Williams for a horror trilogy and used as a zombie killer machine. But I need to know the name of the film franchise. That is number 1. Number 2, this might be a little bit more up your street, maybe a little bit easier. Here we go. Number 2. Claws worn by which popular superhero character featured in popular Marvel comics and a franchise of films? So I'm looking for a superhero character who's famous or renowned for wearing a claw on one of his hands. So number 2, claws worn by which popular superhero character featured in popular Marvel comics and a franchise of films? That is number 2. Number 3, I hope you're getting this one. Number 3, name the Star Wars character who uses a bowcaster to defeat the stormtroopers. I think he uses this in New Hope, the first Star Wars film, of course, to be released. But name the Star Wars character who uses a bowcaster to defeat the stormtroopers. That is the third question. We're round 3 now. Number 4, I'm looking for exosuits used to fight alien life in a 2014 science fiction movie, and it co-stars Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. Love Emily Blunt. I think she's great in everything she does. Thought she was tremendous in Sicario. But here's the film weapon again. I'm looking for exosuits, spelled EXO, used to fight alien life in a 2014 science fiction movie starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. That is number 4. Halfway through the round as we go to number 5 now. I'm looking for the Stormbreaker battle axe from a 2018 box office smash. So for this one, I'm looking for the name of the film, and the weapon used is a Stormbreaker battle axe from a 2018 box office smash hit film. But I need you to tell me the name of the film for 1 point. That is number 5. Number 6, we've mentioned cricket already with a question in 90s culture. But on this occasion, a cricket bat is used to bash zombies on the head whilst crossing a grass patch for a popular 2004 horror comedy. I need you to tell me the name of that film. So number 6 again, a cricket bat used to bash zombies in the head whilst crossing a grass patch from a popular 2004 horror comedy. But what is the name of the film? Couple more left. We move on to, number 7. Looking again for the film name for this one. Number 7. Cherry Darling's leg gun from a B-movie zombie action comedy from 2007 and directed by Robert Rodriguez. So 7, I'm looking for a weapon in a film. So I'm looking for the film title. Here's the question again. Number 7. Cherry Darling's leg gun from a B-movie zombie action comedy from 2007 and directed by Robert Rodriguez. 3 more left. We're pretty much just over halfway in this tonight's quiz. The 8th week of the LA Cinema Quiz. Question 8 now. Film weapons. I'm looking for Prince Calwin's glaive, a star-shaped weapon that acts similarly to a boomerang with retractable blades from a 1983 fantasy adventure film. So I'm looking again for the name of the film. The weapon is called the Prince Calwin's glaive. It's a star-shaped weapon that acts similarly to a boomerang with retractable blades from a 1983 fantasy adventure film. But what film from 1983? Next one, we're on number 9. Here's the weapon or weapons. 2 stunt cars. One a black 1971 Chevy Nova and a 1969 Dodge Charger, again from a 2007 B-movie action thriller. But for 1 point, tell me which film it's used in. Number 9 again, 2 stunt cars. A black 1971 Chevy Nova and a 1969 Dodge Charger from a 2007 B-movie action thriller. But tell me the name of the film. And the last one, finally, number 10. The weapon is a pulse rifle from a 1986 science fiction sequel. And the clue is with an iconic female protagonist. It's a big giveaway. Number 10 again. I'll just have a sip of water if I can find my cup. Gone missing. Number 10 again. I'm looking for a pulse rifle from a 1986 science fiction sequel with an iconic female protagonist. The name of the film, please. Okay, that's all 10 for film weapons. A little bit different that round. I quite enjoyed that one. A little bit like the movie props. How did you fare for this one? How did you get on? Anyone confident they maybe got all 10 for this one? Just going to move the camera a little bit. How did you fare with your film weapons? And if you need any shouting out again, just let me know the number and they can repeat them. Not a problem at all. We'll move on to 4 in just a minute. A couple of topics of conversation that I'm going to ask you at the end, just to get your opinions, all film orientated, of course. The first topic of conversation before we announce the answers tonight, I want to ask you all the best films you've seen on the big screen. So these could have been films you saw at the time they were released. They could have been re-released films, so classics or older films. So I've got a particular list. They could be particular moments in your life, first dates, that kind of thing. We'll ask you at the end. Last week we were short of numbers last week, but we did quite an interesting round on UK film censorship, talking about films that are banned by the BBFC or received a lot of controversy at the time. So I'm going to ask the most uncomfortable films you've watched or experienced. That's topics of conversation later. And yeah, of course, is it Shirley? I can, Shirley Cormish, I can do number 5. So a couple of little things for us to discuss, little topics of conversation, get you all involved. Number 5 for round 3, that was your film weapons. So I'm looking for the title of a film that this weapon is used in. Here we go, Shirley. I'm looking for the Stormbreaker battle axe from a 2018 box office smash hit film. So I'll repeat that again. It's the Stormbreaker battle axe from a 2018 box office smash. Anyone else need any repeating? Shirley saying The Terminator. Yeah, we'll mention these films a bit later on, just before we reveal all the answers, and we'll see how you got on with tonight's edition of the quiz. Okay, so Bikey Chick, this is one for you. I think for a couple of weeks, or last week in particular, am I right that you asked for a round on the director Richard Donner, who I believe is still alive and well? He took part in a nice interview about the Goonies with some of the cast, crew, and Steven Spielberg. I believe he's working on another sequel to the Lethal Weapon series, which would be number 5. Amanda asking for number 9. Yeah, no problem, Amanda. Hope you're well. Okay, so here's number 9. 2 stunt cars. So I'm looking for the film title. 2 stunt cars. One a black 1971 Chevy Nova and a 1969 Dodge Charger from a 2007 B-movie action thriller. Again, I just want you to tell me the weapon. Which films was it used in? Which film? Okay, so it's for Mr. Bikey Chick, no problem. Who I believe, is that John Ross? Yeah, okay, no problem. We'll move on to Richard Donner. I was going to say one thing before we move on to 4. I'm going to give a shout out to somebody because I thought this was quite amusing. I have a friend who's based in Bristol. He plays the quiz most weeks. I don't know if he's logged in. I haven't seen him tonight. He might be watching. He'll probably go as red as a beetroot when I say this. He watched the quiz last week and his wife said to him, "What on earth is James wearing?" Was wearing a yellow V-neck sweater and says, "Why on earth is he so scruffy when he presents the quizzes?" I was going to be cheeky and tonight wear a full suit, shirt and tie. I thought that was being a little bit drastic, dressed up in the house where it's so hot. So I thought I'd try and smarten myself up and have a shave. My hair's a mess and I've still got on a V-neck. So just thought I'd do a shout out to Pixel Arts. It's Jamie Gibbs and his wife Sarah. So maybe next week I'll put on my blue suit, maybe. Okay, moving on. Richard Donner films, the subject for round number 4. Here we go. Richard Donner, the director. Here we go. Number 1. Donner directed Superman in 1978, but name the iconic actor who plays Superman's father. I think the character's pronounced Jor-El. It's really hard to pronounce, but question 1 again. Richard Donner directed Superman in 1978, but name the iconic actor who plays Superman's father. Such an icon in acting and cinema. Number 2 now. I'm looking for 2 answers for number 2. So we've got 2 points on offer. Here we go. 4th round tonight. Donner directed The Goonies in 1985, but for 2 points, who came up with the story and also produced the film? Given that one away already. And who wrote the screenplay? So with 2 parts to this one, 2 points on offer. Donner directed The Goonies in 1985, but for 2 points, who came up with the story and also produced the film? And who wrote the screenplay? Question 2. Number 3 now, I'm looking for a character name in a Richard Donner film. Here we go. Name the character Mel Gibson plays in all 4 Lethal Weapon films, which are all directed by Richard Donner. I mentioned earlier on that I think they're doing a 5th one's in the works. I don't know if it's in the pre-production or production stages. I don't know if the bikey chick knows. But here we go again. Name the character Mel Gibson plays in all 4 of the Lethal Weapon films, which are directed by Richard Donner. We move on to number 4 now. I want you to name the US comic actor who plays a selfish, cynical television executive who is haunted by 3 spirits on Christmas Eve in the Richard Donner movie Scrooged. I didn't even know Richard Donner directed this one, to be honest. But number 4 again, I'm looking for the name of an actor, a film actor, specifically a US comic actor who plays a selfish, cynical television executive who is haunted by 3 spirits on Christmas Eve in the Richard Donner movie Scrooged. Halfway through the round with number 5. I'd say this one is the trickiest of the questions. Here we go. Question 5, round 4. Name the 1982 comedy film directed by Donner about an underemployed reporter who finds himself purchased as a toy for a rich, spoiled brat. The film stars Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason, and Ned Beatty. Film I'd never heard about until doing the research with the questions the other night on Sunday night. But number 5, name the 1982 comedy film directed by Donner about an underemployed reporter who finds himself purchased as a toy for a rich spoiled brat. The film stars Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason, and Ned Beatty. Number 6, we move 10 years on from 82 to 92. Here we go. Number 6. Name the 1992 Richard Donner film. It's a directed drama about a father who recounts a dark period of his childhood when he and his brother lived in the suburbs. Lauren Branco and John Hurd star. I'll repeat that one again. Number 6. Name the 1992 Richard Donner directed drama about a father who recounts a dark period of his childhood when he and his brother lived in the suburbs. Lauren Branco and John Hurd star. Moving on to 7. Same thing again. 2 points on offer. Just two answers to this one. It's a 2-part question. Here we go. Good luck with this one. Name the actor who plays Brett Maverick in Donner's Maverick. And for the bonus point, name the female actress who plays Annabelle Bransford, his love interest. I think this was based on a television series originally. I remember seeing it in the cinema in the 90s, and it wasn't a bad little film, in fairness. Very entertaining. Name the actor who plays Brett Maverick in Donner's Maverick. And for a bonus point, name the female actress who plays Annabelle Bransford, his love interest. I think it came out in the sort of early mid-90s, that one. Moving on to number 8, I'm looking for the name of a late actor. So an actor who tragically died. Here we go. Which late actor who died in 2013 stars in Donner's 2003 sci-fi adventure Timeline? This is a film I must confess I'd never heard of. I don't know this film at all, Timeline. But it stars a late actor. He died in 2013, and he stars in Richard Donner's 2003 sci-fi adventure film, and it's called Timeline. Name the actor, the late actor. Number 9 now. Donner's last directed film starred Bruce Willis as an aging alcoholic cop assigned the task of escorting a witness from police custody to a courthouse several blocks away. But name this 2006 film. If you don't know the film, there is a clue in the question. So I'll read it again. Number 9. Richard Donner's last directed film starred Bruce Willis as an aging alcoholic cop assigned the task of escorting a witness from police custody to a courthouse several blocks away. But name the 2006 film. And lastly, for 10, we go from the name of a film to an age. Simply, number 10, what age is Richard Donner? I said earlier he's still alive and kicking. He's planned to make Lethal Weapon 5. I'm not sure if this is in the production stages as yet. I'd imagine not. But question 10 again, what age is Richard Donner? So 10 questions on the American popular director Richard Donner. He seems quite a character in real life. How did you get on, Bikey Chick, with this round and everyone else? You enjoy the round? And does anyone need me to read any of these back for your Richard Donner movies? As I said, there's a nice little video doing the rounds with Josh Gad talking to the cast and the crew of the Goonies. They're called Reunited. And Richard Donner comes on there. He doesn't have a clue how to work his Zoom or his laptop, and he's deaf as a post. And it's quite funny, to be honest. Bikey Chick saying hopefully 12. Would that be full marks with the 2 points on offer as well? I imagine it will. And Susan's asking for number 9. Here we go, number 9. Donner's last directed film starred Bruce Willis as an aging alcoholic cop assigned the task of escorting a witness from police custody to a courthouse several blocks away. But name this 2006 film. Yeah, Bikey Chick's seen the interview. It's good. They do a whole series of them from Ghostbusters to one of the Lord of the Rings films. Splash, Tom Hanks and, of course, Daryl Hannah. Anyone else need any repeating? As we move on to the final round of tonight. Be the last round, it'll be 10 questions. I'm going to name characters that an actor or actress has played. I just need you to tell me the name of the actor or actress that played those roles. The same one? Yeah, you got it. Reunited Apart. Yeah, I don't know if they've done any new ones of late, but they're good fun. All good nostalgia. I did enjoy the Ghostbusters one. I do love the Ghostbusters. Brings back a lot of childhood memories. Bill Murray is always great. Here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to name 3 famous characters an actor or actress has played. The same actor or actress. You just need to tell me who played them. So 3 characters, the same person played all 3, but who are they? Does that make sense? So round 5 is name the actor or actress from the 3 characters they played. Here we go. Number 1, who played these 3 characters? Terry Malloy, Colonel Walter E. Kurtz, and Stanley Kowalski. That's a Karate Kid one, okay. One of the actors cropped up in a question tonight. I wouldn't mind seeing that one. That was another thing I was big in back in the day in the 80s, and the figures for those, the toys. I mentioned that these are highly collectible, these WWF wrestling ones, which I love. But the Karate Kid ones, they go for a fortune, especially if they're boxed. Can't remember who made them. I don't know if it was Mattel. You got like the chop action with an arm and leg. Okay, so one was which actor or actress, so it'd be an actor, sorry, the male parts, who played Terry Malloy, Colonel Walter E. Kurtz, and Stanley Kowalski. That's number 1. Number 2, 3 characters in a film, but who played them? First one is Margaret Thatcher. The second is Sophie, but no surname. And the last one is Miranda Priestley. Number 2, the characters played were Margaret Thatcher, Sophie, and Miranda Priestley. Which actress played all 3 characters? Number 3, I think you'll all get this one, just from me asking the first one. Here we go. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Robert Neville, and the great Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. Number 3, the 3 characters are the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Robert Neville, and Muhammad Ali. So an actor played all 3 of those roles, those people, those characters. But who was it? Number 4, who played these? Johnny Cash, the country music star, the Joker, and Commodus. So number 4 again, the actor who played these 3 characters in the films. Firstly, Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, the Joker, and Commodus. Halfway through the round with number 5, an actor played all 3 of these characters. But who was it? Frank Serpico, Jimmy Hoffa, and Michael Corleone. Frank Serpico, Jimmy Hoffa, the man of the trade unions, and Michael Corleone. Some of these are quite simple, I'd say, but I'll see how you get on at the end. Number 6, a female actress now. The characters she played are Jasmine, Galadriel, I think is pronounced that, Galadriel, and Katharine Hepburn. So the roles are Jasmine, Galadriel and Katharine Hepburn, the famous Hollywood icon. Number 6. Number 7 now, I'm looking for a male actor who played these 3 characters. Here they are, number 7. Rick Blaine, Fred C. Dobbs, and Samuel Spade. So 3 characters, all played by a famous actor. Who is the actor? Here they are again, number 7. Rick Blaine, Fred C. Dobbs, and Samuel Spade. Rick Blaine, Fred C. Dobbs, and Samuel Spade is number 7. Number 8, I think you'll all get this one. I say nice and simple, but I'm sure you will, you film buffs. Number 8, Max Cady, Travis Bickle, and Don Vito Corleone. So an actor played all 3 of those parts. Who was he? Icon, indeed. But here are the character names again. Max Cady, Travis Bickle, and Don Vito Corleone. We move on to 9, question 49 of the night. 2 more left for tonight's LA Cinema quiz. Here we go. Number 9. Sherman Klump, Prince Akeem, and Axel Foley. That's the giver, I think, on that one. Number 9. So the swig of water. Number 9 again. Sherman Klump, Prince Akeem, and Axel Foley, who played all 3 characters. And the last question of tonight, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's number 50, the final one. Baby Jane Hudson, Margot, and Charlotte Vale. So I'm looking for an actress, obviously, played these 3 character names. Here they are again. Question 50, last one of tonight. Baby Jane Hudson, Margot, and Charlotte Vale. Which actress played all 3? It's the last round. How did everyone get on with this one? I thought there was some easy ones in the mix there. You may disagree, but I'm sure you're going to get them as you cinema buffs who take part week after week. How did you get on with this round? Anyone confident that they got a full house tonight on this one? And we'll reveal the answers. We'll go through all 5 rounds within the next sort of 5 minutes. We'll get you to tally up your scores. If you need any shouting out, repeating again on this final round, just let me know. Not a problem whatsoever. Suzanne asking for question number 6. Yeah, so number 6, female actress who played these roles. Here we go. Jasmine Galadriel, I think it's pronounced that, and the actress Katharine Hepburn. Jasmine Galadriel and Katharine Hepburn. Amanda's very confident with a 10 out of 10. That would be an excellent way to finish tonight's quiz. Fingers crossed, touch wood. If anyone else need any shouting out again, and then we'll go through the final set of answers. Anyone else? Before we reveal tonight's answers, a couple of little topics of conversation. I mentioned just before one of the rounds, I said about a little topic of conversation, film related, of course. What are some of the magical moments you've had in cinemas? Obviously, cinemas have been open and closed during the pandemic, frustratingly. But we've all had magical moments watching films, maybe stirred particular emotions, maybe personal for reasons like it was a date that you ended up marrying the lady or whatever, your partner. Maybe it was something you went with your parents as a kid, or a particular magical moment. I wanted you to tell me your best cinema experiences and the best films you've seen cinematically on a screen, projected onto the silver screen. I was going to share some of mine, but I wanted to specifically ask you yours. Yeah, I can do 7 and 9 from round 1. Yeah, no problem. So Bikey Chick asking for 7 and 9 from round 1. No problem. So round 1 was martial arts as a recap. And question 7 on martial arts was, name the UK-US title of a 1991 Jet Li film set in the late 1800s about a man who trains men in martial arts to help defend against foreign powers. And 9, I want you to name the 2011 Indonesian action thriller directed by Welsh filmmaker Gareth Evans. It's about a SWAT team who become trapped in a tenement ran by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers. So yeah, back onto the topic of great cinematic moments. What are the best moments you've seen or best films you've seen projected onto the screen? Could be new and old. I had a little list, but I'm sure I could add loads to this. Okay, so if I had to say masterworks, I mean, beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. It's all subjective with film. I'd say the best films I've ever seen on the cinema screen, I think the best 2 I've ever seen are 2001 A Space Odyssey, which I ended up crying at the end because I just thought it was just so tremendous and just a master at the peak of his performance. I thought it was just incredible on the big screen. It needs to be seen cinematically. I'd say that, and Citizen Kane, Orson Welles, of course, which is just mind-blowing for me, totally ahead of its time, still kind of sets the big benchmark for me of many films. But other ones I've enjoyed on the big screen are Have and Have Not, LA Confidential when it first came out, the re-release of A Clockwork Orange, Kubrick again, Goodfellas, The Godfather, which I was blown away by on the big screen, obviously a re-release, It's a Wonderful Life, Blade Runner, which I've seen 2 or 3 times on the big screen. But if I had to choose one moment, and not specifically saying the best film I've seen, I would have to choose seeing as a 15-year-old teenager, opening night at a Bristol cinema, Michael Mann's epic film Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. It still has a big nostalgia impact on me. It's a big thing. So Lucy saving David Bowie's tight pants in Labyrinth as a young girl 5 rows back as he appeared larger than life. Yeah, I saw Labyrinth, a re-release of it a few years ago. I thought it held up well, to be honest. It's a good family film. Bikey Chick saying A Clockwork Orange. The thing I think is great about Clockwork Orange, I think of all Kubrick's films, it's the most dated. But the thing I like about it a lot is it's still very powerful, particularly the second half. Very political. And I think it does get the 70s in Britain. It captures that period, I think, brilliantly. I think there's some great editing techniques going on with the scene with the girls when he takes them back and has sex with them, the speeding up. I've never, ever seen a film like it. I don't think I'll ever see a film in my life is so surreal and different as A Clockwork Orange. It's just unique. Saving Private Ryan, yeah, the battle scenes at the beginning, very cinematic on the big screen. Spielberg, always a very cinematic filmmaker visually and a great storyteller. John Ross saying the one that caught him off guard was the Coen Brothers' Big Lebowski. Never heard an audience laugh so much. That's a little bit of a film like A Clockwork Orange. It's just totally unique. You never see a film like it ever again. We watched that again the other day. So emotional. Okay, Labyrinth, yeah, the late David Bowie. Anyone else want to suggest any great film moments? I must admit, a recent one I did enjoy on the big screen. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I did really enjoy Parasite. I thought that was a cracking film from a storytelling point of view, with a kind of a moral to the story. Godfather, Gone with the Wind, you saw at the cinema. That's a film I've never been fortunate enough to see. Taxi Driver's another one I put on there. Saw that, a re-release. Apocalypse Now, I agree with you. I saw that, a re-release of that. Not to see, Ryan. Okay. Yeah, they did Apocalypse Now, a recut. I saw about a year ago. Stunning on the big screen. Amazing sound. Okay, the second question I was going to ask you, we've had some really good, interesting answers, some great films. Last week, we did an interesting round on the history of UK film censorship, with films that have caused a stir, some of which have been banned. What are the most uncomfortable film watches you've ever seen? Or experiences, films that are difficult to watch, maybe for their content, maybe because they're violent, maybe they're brutal. What have you found extremely difficult to watch on screen? You may have turned off the film because it was repulsing or it struck a chord. Star Wars, Amanda saying, A New Hope, particularly the opening scene and the John Williams music score. John Ross saying, Jane says she loved the music in West Side Story. That's being remade, isn't it, by Spielberg. Uncomfortable watches. For this one, I'd never seen anything that I've been repulsed by or shocked by and switched off. But the two, Clockwork Orange is an experience for me that was just totally unique and a highly controversial film. But I didn't find it shocking, but powerful. The weirdest experience I've ever seen watching a film was in an A-level film class, where somebody put a VHS film of a Larry Clark 1990s films called Kids, about young adolescent kids who get up to all sorts of sexual acts and promiscuous things. I didn't find the film shocking at all, but surprisingly, loads of students walked out of the class. And it was just, I found it a little bit of a strange, awkward experience. I've never seen many people walk out of a showing. Bikey Chick said, Freddie got fingered, had to turn it off. Never seen that one. Gorky Park, is that the one with, what's his name? William Hurt? Lee Marvin? Or have I got that wrong? The Exorcist, that is a difficult watch, in fairness. The one I've heard is difficult to watch is one called Irreversible, a French film. I've heard that is horrific. I've got it on DVD somewhere. One that was very controversial that I watched during the lockdown that people walked out of when it was premiered was The Painted Bird, a film about the Holocaust from the Jewish perspective. I didn't find it that difficult, but I'd imagine a lot of people would. A difficult book as well. The Accused, I agree with that completely. Somebody mentioned it the other day. We were talking about the rape scene in A Clockwork Orange, and he said he found that this rape scene in The Accused was harder to watch than the Kubrick scene in Clockwork Orange, and I agree with that. Yeah, the Jodie Foster film. Okay, we'll reveal the answers in just a second. Anyone seen anything that they were really found so difficult to watch that they just had to switch it off for whatever reason? I think Natural Born Killers is quite a hard watch, very violent. Again, I didn't find it particularly shocking, but Django's very bloody. Yeah, Philip saying Django, Tarantino. Just trying to think of any others. Human Centipede 2. That came up as a question. Was revolting and depraved. Should have never been made. It was banned as a question last week. It had some cuts and then it got a release. Eureka, I think, of the distributor. Okay. Legend. That was quite scary with Tim Curry as the demon with the big sharp horns. Okay, so you're all ready for the answers. Thanks for the suggestions there. We've had some good ones, particularly Human Centipede 2. Yeah, I've heard that is a bad one. Here we go. So round one was martial arts films. Oh, we got one more. The Django scene with the dog. And also the two fighters. The Mandingo, was it? The Mandingo fighters was really uncomfortable. Saying Philip. A lot of people say Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a pretty difficult one. It's quite a raw film. And some of the video nasties, some I've watched, I thought were bad films. I didn't like The Driller Killer. I thought that was terrible. But some people rate it because it's more of a psychological film. It wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't find it was good at all. Okay, so the first film, the Bruce Lee martial arts film in 1973. I bet you all got this one. It was Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon. Answer number one. Someone saying Saw, the horror. Question number two was two answers. So the film, based on the life of Bruce Lee, it's called Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. If you put Dragon, that's fine. So Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. And who was the actor who played Bruce Lee? It was Jason Scott Lee. So Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, and Jason Scott Lee, a point each. Number three, who was the actor who played roles in the Delta Force, the sequel, Missing in Action, and Walker, Texas Ranger, the TV series? It was Chuck Norris. I think he's still alive and kicking. The old Canon Films, Chuck Norris. Number four, I gave you a title. It was House of, a 2004 Chinese martial arts film. Finished the title. It's House of Flying Daggers. I hear this is a good one. I think I might have seen it. House of Flying Daggers. Answer number four. Number five, who's the martial arts king who played the character Chang Kaiku in 1985's Police Story? It's Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan, answer number five. The Oscar-winning director who made Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is Ang Lee. Ang Lee, answer number six. Number seven was a little bit more tricky. It was a Jet Li film. I gave you a description. I told you the release date was 91 and I wanted the English title. It's Once Upon a Time in China. Once Upon a Time in China. Number eight, who plays the Karate Kid in the film series and the TV series Cobra Kai? It's Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio, answer number eight. Number nine was a 2011 Indonesian film. I gave you a description. Gareth Evans, the filmmaker. It's The Raid. The Raid, answer number nine. I think they did a sequel as well, Raid 2. Number 10, the great Japanese director, the master, Akira Kurosawa, directed Yojimbo for 1961. Last answer, Akira Kurosawa. How did you get on with that round? Some good scores there. Okay, so we got Migrant Hawker saying Killing Zoe, Burning Man scene. I did see Killing Zoe a long time ago in the 90s. I think it was written by Tarantino, wasn't it? The screenplay for that one. Trying to think of the guy who directed it. Was it Lawrence Bender? It's all a long time ago. 7, Lucy, good score. Bikey Chick, 3 more with a 10. Really good score for round 1. Amanda and Richard got a 9. Another good score from the first round. Got some good scores coming early. Anyone else want to say what they scored for the first round? Suzanne got a 5. Susan Chilcott. We'll move on in a second to the answers, which was round 2 was the 1990s media and culture. We'll read them out in just a minute. Anyone else for round 1 with your scores? Okay, so answers for round 2. It was your 1990s. The first one, who plays Dr. Ross Gellar in the hit sitcom Friends? It was David Swimmer. Whatever happened to David Swimmer? He looked a little bit like a young Dustin Hoffman to me. David Swimmer, answer number 1. Number 2, I asked you for a popular fighting game. It was made for consoles, the Sega Mega Drive, the Super Nintendo. It was also an arcade game. It was made by Midway Games in 1992, and it's made into what I would say was a pull-in film in 1995 with Christopher Lambert. It was Mortal Kombat. There's great characters in that. Scorpion, Raiden, Johnny Cage. I was woken up on New Year's Eve to this song, Things Can Only Get Better. The band was called D-Ream. 1 point for D-Ream. And the keyboard player, the live band's keyboard player, who is a professor in physics and a TV broadcaster, is Brian Cox. So D-Ream, 1 point. Brian Cox for the 2nd point. I think they should re-release that song. I think it'd be a number 1 hit again. Quite topical with what's going on today. A bit of optimism. Things can only get better for number 1 again, I think. Number 4, it was Gail Porter, the Scottish television presenter model who was projected onto the Houses of Parliament. Gail Porter, answer number 4. Who was the American actress who played Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the hit TV series? It was Sarah Michelle Gellar. Answer number 5. Pistol Pete Sampras, the American tennis ace. He won 6 Wimbledon titles in the 90s. He won a 7th in the 2000s. So Pete Sampras, answer number 6. Went on to win 14 Grand Slam singles titles, but never won them on clay at the French Open, was always his downfall. Federer's won them all on all surfaces. So has Nadal. Which country hosted the 1990 FIFA World Cup? It was Italy who got the 3rd place. So Italy were the hosts. West Germany beat Argentina in a terrible final, and England came 4th. Number 8, the show was Gladiators. Gladiators from 1992, presented by Ulrika Johnson and John Fashanu. So Gladiators. Number 9, the smutty sexual show, humour show, was Eurotrash with good old Antoine. Eurotrash from Channel 4. Used to quite enjoy that. It's a bit of a laugh. And lastly, Brian Lara was the West Indian batsman who broke Gary Sober's record at the time, scoring 375 runs against England. He went on to break the record that was broken, scoring 400 not out. So there you are, last one, the great Brian Charles Lara. How did everyone get on with this round? 90s culture. Some quite nice questions in there. How did everyone fare? We got some early scores revealed. Lucy, a good score of a 9. An excellent score for round number 2. Any other scores for tonight? Suzanne, a 7. Another good score, just 2 behind. Really good. We've got some good scores this evening for the first 2 rounds. Lucy and Suzanne, well done. We'll move on to the 3rd round in just a minute and reveal the answers. Bikey Chicks in the 90s, our decade, we got 11. And Amanda, a good score, a 10. Yeah, and the same, I get quite nostalgic about the 90s. Quite a good decade to live in terms of economically, I suppose, in UK. Quite a good economic decade. I know we had an early recession at the beginning of the 90s. I think 92, wasn't it? But overall, good decade, I think. I think people will look back with fond memories, a bit of romanticism. I was going to say something that would cause a bit of taboo, so I'll keep my mouth shut about the 90s on one thing. It was a political thing. 7 for Shirley, a good score again. As we go for the round 3 answers. What was round 3? It was film weapons. Here we go with the answers. So weapon number 1 was a chainsaw made by a character called Ash Williams, a handmade, in a horror trilogy used as a zombie killer machine. It's from the Evil Dead franchise. The Evil Dead franchise. Number 1. Trying to think of the name of the actor who plays Ash Williams. It's totally gone out of my head. The claws worn by a popular superhero character featured in popular Marvel comics and a franchise of films is Wolverine or Logan. Wolverine, though, from the X-Men films, of course. So Wolverine, a big blade. Number 3, name the Star Wars character who uses a bowcaster to defeat the stormtroopers. I think this is used in Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, and it's Chewbacca. Chewbacca, answer number 3. Number 4, I asked you for the exosuits to fight alien life in a 2014 sci-fi movie. It starred Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. The film is called The Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow. I think it's got another title as well, but Edge of Tomorrow. Number 5, the Stormbreaker battle axe is from the Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War, answer number 5. Number 6, yeah, thanks a lot. Bruce Campbell, of course. Thank you. Shirley, thank you. Coming to my aid. A cricket bat used to bash zombies on the head whilst crossing a grass patch. Well, it's a horror comedy from 2004. And of course, it was Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead, answer number 6. Number 7, Cherry Darling's leg gun from a B-movie zombie action comedy. It's a 2007 film. The director is Robert Rodriguez, and it's Planet Terror. Planet Terror is answer 7. Number 8 was Prince Gowlin's glaive, a star-shaped weapon, like a boomerang with retractable blades. It was from Kroll from 1983. So Kroll, answer number 8. Number 9 was 2 stunt cars, a black 1971 Chevy Nova and a 1969 Dodge Charger. Again, it was 2007, a B-movie action thriller. It's Death Proof. Death Proof, Quentin Tarantino. Death Proof, Planet Terror, 2 back-to-back B-movies made to be shown after one another. And number 10, a pulse rifle from a sequel from 1986 with an iconic female protagonist. It's Aliens. The final answer, number 10. Round number 3, Aliens. How did we get on with our movie weapons? A little bit similar to movie props this round. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different, I thought. How did you get on? And then we got 2 rounds to go with your answers for rounds 4 and 5. And then we'll top at your scores. Suzanne not so keen on this round with a 4. The B movie ones I think were hard. The Planet Terror and the Death Proof. Lucy a 6. I think the hardest round we ever did was the BBFC one, the film censorship last week. I thought that was a tricky, difficult round. Bikey Chick, a really good score. 10, excellent. Very good indeed. We'll move on in just a bit to round 4 and reveal the answers. And it's Bikey Chick's recommendation. It was Richard Donner, the filmmaker. Lucy Chuff, she got Kroll. Never seen Kroll. I've got it here somewhere. I got it in a nice set. Where is it? You can never find things when you need to. There she is. Kroll, yeah, I need to dig this one out. May watch that next week for a little bit of fun, escapism. Richard got a 9, saying Amanda. Bikey Chick loves the Grindhouse. I've never seen it. Lucy saying, giving a thumbs up recommendation for Kroll. I'll stick that on next week. Okay, round number 4, Richard Donner. This one's for you, Bikey Chick. See how you get on. Okay, so Donner directed Superman, but who plays Superman's father? It's, of course, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando, answer number 1. Number 2, 2 points we got on offer. So point each, obviously. So who came up with the story and also produced the film of The Goonies back in 1985? It was Steven Spielberg. I announced that at the beginning. They produced the film. Steven Spielberg. And who wrote the screenplay? It's Chris Columbus. 2 guys who also would go on to direct films, Steven Spielberg and Chris Columbus. Name the character Mel Gibson plays, the police cop in the Lethal Weapon films. It's Martin Riggs. Martin Riggs is the name of the character that Gibson plays. And they're doing a 5th installment, I hear. Bill Murray, of course, is the cynical television executive who's haunted by 3 spirits on Christmas Eve in Richard Donner's Scrooged. Bill Murray. There was a clue in the question. I said a 1982 comedy film by Donner. Stars Richard Pryor. He's an underemployed reporter who's purchased as a toy for a rich, spoiled brat. The film is The Toy. The Toy. Answer number 5. Number 6. A 1992 Richard Donner directed drama recounting a dark period of a boy's childhood. It stars Lauren Bracco and John Hurd. It's called Radio Flyer. Radio Flyer, answer number 6. Number 7, again, there was 2 answers and we got 2 points on offer. Name the actor who plays Brett Maverick in Donner's Maverick. It's Mel Gibson, of course, from Lethal Weapon. And Jodie Foster plays the love interest, a character called Annabelle Bransford. So Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster. Number 8, the late actor who appears in Donner's 2003 sci-fi adventure film Timeline is Paul Walker. Paul Walker from Fast and Furious. Number 8, answer 8. Number 9, the Bruce Willis film from his last film to date. It's called 16 Blocks. 16 Blocks. answer number 9. There was a clue in the question. I said, taking a witness from police custody to a courthouse several blocks away. So it was a little clue. And the last one, what age is Richard Donner? Well, he's still alive and kicking, as we know. And he's 90 years of age, still rocking and still ready for Lethal Weapon number 5. So, Bikey Chick, how did you get on with this one? How did everyone else fare? A nice round on Richard Donner, the American popular filmmaker. Made a lot of very popular box office hits. Good director, safe pair of hands. How did we fare? Lucy did well with an 8. A good score indeed. Any other good scores? So Lucy, the first with a total of 8 for round number 4. One more round to go tonight. Bikey Chick, excellent with a 12. And Suzanne, an 8. Another good score. Matches Lucy's. Amanda did really well with 10. Another good score. Any more? We'll move on to last round tonight. What was number 5? Name the actor or actress who played these 3 characters. So I asked 10 questions. I named characters. And I asked you to tell me the actor or actress who played them all. Same person. Number 1 was Terry Malloy, Colonel Walter Kurtz, and Stanley Kowalski. He cropped up in another question tonight. It was Marlon Brando, of course. Marlon Brando. He cropped up in the Superman question. Number 2, Margaret Thatcher. She won the Oscar for that role. Sophie, she also won the Academy Award for that role. And played Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada. It is, of course, Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is answer number 2. Number 3, I may as well not even bother reading them. He played Muhammad Ali, played Robert Neville, and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the popular television serial. It was Will Smith. Will Smith. I'd imagine you all got that one. Number 3. Number 4, I'd imagine you all got this one. He played country music star, the Man in Black, Johnny Cash, a music icon. The comic book villain, the Joker. And in Gladiator, played Commodus. It's, of course, the Oscar-winning actor for the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. The brother of the late River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix, number 4. Frank Serpico, a cop exposing corruption in the police force. The union representative who went mysteriously missing, Jimmy Hoffa, in The Irishman. And the son of Don Vito Corleone, Michael Corleone, in the Godfather trilogy. It's, of course, the great Al Pacino. Al Pacino, answer number 5. She won, I think, the Academy Award for playing Jasmine in a Woody Allen film of the same name. Galadriel, I think you pronounce that, in The Lord of the Rings. And won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for Katharine Hepburn in the film about Howard Hughes. It escapes my mind, the Scorsese film. Is Kate Blanchett, The Aviators, the film, Kate Blanchett. One of my all-time favourite actors. He's just class. Played Rick Blaine. Was King of Cool, Fred C. Dobbs. And Samuel Spade, some film noir. The great Humphrey Bogart, of course. Played Rick Blaine, Casablanca, Fred C. Dobbs, Treasure of the Sierra Madre. And I think Samuel Spade was the Maltese Falcon. So it's Humphrey Bogart. Number 8, he played the nasty, bad villain Max Cady in Cape Fear. The psychotic Travis Bickle in Scorsese's Taxi Driver. And won his first Oscar, the Best Supporting one, in 1974's masterpiece Godfather 2, Don Vito Corleone. It is, of course, Robert De Niro, my favourite actor. Robert De Niro, number 8. Number 9, Sherman Clump. Was that the Nutty Professor? I'm not sure. Prince Hakeem, that was Coming to America, and the long-awaited sequel for this year. And Axel Foley, of course, from Beverly Hills Cop. Comedian Eddie Murphy, answer number 9, Eddie Murphy. She had a song in the 80s about her eyes specifically. She played Baby Jane Hudson. Margot and Charlotte Vale. It's the great actress Betty Davis. Hollywood icon Betty Davis is the final answer tonight. Answer number 50. Little bit different this round. How did you all get on with our final round tonight? What were your scores for this round as we finish up this latest edition of the LA Cinema Quiz? Lucy, a really good score to finish tonight with a 10. Well done, really good. Good stuff indeed. Anyone else? Suzanne, a 9, another good score. Just one below Lucy, good score. A 9. Anyone else fell well? Bikey Chick did well with an 8, another good score. That's some really good scores this evening for all rounds. And if you tally up your scores from rounds 1 to 5, all the 50 questions this evening, how did we all get on with week number 8? Thanks for tuning in, everyone, tonight. We've had some really good numbers, which is really good. Thanks a lot. I hope you will join us again next week for more testing of your cinema knowledge. I'll try and watch some films this week, and before we finish the night, I'll ask you any suggestions you got for subjects and rounds and topics next week. Okay, so a 10 for Rich and Amanda. They always take part in the quiz. Thanks a lot again. 10, a good score, and 48 is a good score. Andy Rouse, 36, not a bad score. Bikey Chick, a very good score, 51. Lucy, 40. Really enjoyed tonight's quiz. Thank you. 40 her total. Suzanne, not bad, with a 36. Said she enjoyed it. Thanks. Okay, so we move on to week number 9 next Friday. Be the second during the national lockdown. Of course, we're not tiered systems anymore. We're all completely involved in the UK lockdown. Anyone have any suggestions for next week? Any topics? Or do you want a specific theme? I know one week we did an 80s theme. I think another week we did a 90s theme. Anyone have anything they'd like to see or any changes? I know I always have kind of the same format. Would anyone like it something completely different? Maybe not so much recommendations. Christian Slater. There's a name from the past. Yeah, Christian Slater. Anyone else got any suggestions for next week? As I said, it'll be week number 9 of the second series of the quiz. Carry On Films is actually a very good suggestion. Very British indeed. I like him that. Barbara Windsor, of course, died recently. Yeah, I kind of like that 90s round. I think we could get in something a bit different. One I had suggested was computer games made into films. Epic films, so films that are exceedingly long. Drinks in films. Okay. It's interesting. Bit different. Any other suggestions? I can hear some scuffles upstairs. It sounds like my boy is awoken. So we've got 90s. It's like the 90s round. Drinks in films. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in tonight. Appreciate anyone that's subscribed to the channel as well. And keep up to date on our Facebook page and our Twitter. Yeah, thanks for your support. I hope most importantly you enjoyed tonight. It's all good fun just to keep you entertained whilst we're sort of locked up in our houses and not able to sort of, well, not supposed to leave our homes at the moment. So yeah, thanks for joining. I appreciate your support. I might put on my best suit next week, who knows. Anyway, we'll finish up. I'll get one of these guys to help me. Oh, so the LA Cinema Film Quiz. Oh, jumping the gun. So we're ending week number 8. I'm losing my marbles. And I hope you can join us next week for more nostalgia. Good night and see you next Friday. Thank you. That is, as they say, a wrap. Good night. Enjoy your weekend and obviously stay safe. And I'll see you next Friday, 8:30, same place here on YouTube with another edition of the LA Cinema Film Quiz. Good night.